Hello and welcome back to Disco Elysium. We talked about cryptids for a very long time last time. The Union folk are here. Very interesting. Aren't you the...
Let me handle this.
The woman says to the crowd.
You seem a little different today. Less hospitable.
Yeah, we got the gloves from
You
her.
are far from home, Lieutenant. This isn't a district known for its love of self-proclaimed militiamen.
I'm in no trouble. I'm here to do my job, is all.
A muscle moves in her face, but her eyes trace yours, stern and perceptive.
You are looking for Titus Hardy, who you think has information on a murder the RCM is investigating. You want to interview him.
She points to a man standing in the middle of the room.
Titus, talk to him, but know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong arming, nothing official. The District of Martinez does not recognize your authority to make arrests.
It doesn't matter if you recognize our authority. We will make an arrest if we have to.
She says nothing. Her glare speaks for her.
What's your role in all this?
Obviously, I'm a lawyer. A legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union. I urge you to consider what you say to my clients.
Let's not... She seems a little dangerous. Let's not say anything stupid. I should go talk to Titus then. Oh hey, money. I think. That's... We're getting close to being able to pay our rent already. Men in overalls, toting guns. Hawthorn bushes. Alright. Mr. Titus.
This is where you say your bed.
Broad-shouldered man points at you with a beer can.
Detective.
The lieutenant acknowledges you with a sharp note. He's leaving it to you. Let's be straightforward. We need to talk about the man hanged out back.
Oh, this is about him. A real looker, that one.
You're sure taking your time, waiting for him to get ripe and pretty for you, huh?
Oh, he was a real pretty boy by now. Real hot stuff. Letting out that pretty boy smell.
Time to go to work in the shit factory!
Hold up, isn't that what my brain told me that one time?
Easy, boys. These janitors have a hell of a job cut out for them. I mean, I wouldn't go in there for $1 million.
You might want to start asking your questions now. It's not going to get better than this.
These guys are so macho, they're ready to confess to first-degree murder. Ask if it was them. Do
Interesting.
a head count first. Connect these men to the tracks you saw in the yard. Chances are they're going to match.
That is an interesting point. I'm gonna scan the room.
Starting from the right. Boot size 44. Blonde man. In his 30s. Overbearingly masculine.
Is he? Look at his hair. I'm joking.
On his
Mostly.
right, standard working boots. Size 45 or 46. Eldest in the room. Probably mid-50s. Smoker. Quiet.
Can I?
Across at the other table. Hobnailed working boots. Size 43.
I'm trying to remember the boots.
Mesk or Sarah Mauritian in his late 30s, early 40s. He spent his youth in Villa Labos, a housing project in the Jamrock Quarter. There were incarcerations, hard to say what else. The ink is fading. And then, standard working boot, steel reinforced toes, size 46. The big dick. Wide at the shoulders and lean at the hips. Rugby cap. Fingerless gloves. And numerous scars. A little under 40. The emblem on his vest says Rowing Club. A little patch below it reads T. Hardy, Captain. In the far corner, standard working boot. Steel reinforced toes. Size 44. 40-something. Non-alcoholic beverage in hand. You squint. Is that a plectrum?
Where?
On his neck. Forget it. It's not important.
I feel like that might be important.
Let's call this one the musician.
The little guy?
Size 41. With the light step. Not a child, after all. An older man with a rat face, mean, watery eyes, and 2 front teeth missing.
Yeah, these are our guys.
In the middle, heaving and wheezing. Big guy. Boot size 46. Deep marks. Probably carried the victim over. He alone is 130 kilos. Add the man in armor, and you could easily exceed 220. In conclusion, these 7 are the actors on the crime scene. The footprints were theirs, but there's a discrepancy.
Yeah, one of them is missing, because there were 8 sets. The odd soul?
Exactly. You've stood there for about 4 seconds, not saying anything. Hit them with questions. Where's the 8th Hardy?
The fuck is with you, fella?
Which one do we go for? Do we just ask them straight up, did you kill the guy? We know they killed the guy. Pretty much. Let's hit them with this. This is a little bit off kilter. Say, I found 8 sets of footprints, but there's only 7 of you. Where's the 8th Hardy boy?
What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardy boy. There's 7 of us and we're all here. Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy boy? We ain't hiring.
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could maybe...
Ooh, a she.
This person Glenn wants to hire. He really respects her.
Shut the fuck up, Glenn! I do the talking here. I'm a
This lady? No?
cop.
It has to be good if he won't let you pursue it. Looks like the lieutenant thinks so too.
Hell yeah.
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardy boy. It's a she, and you don't like us talking about her.
Sorry, let me just... fuck. Adjust my seat a bit.
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy Boys matter. Nothing to do with your shit. And
Is he gonna say something racist?
you're not cops here.
No, okay.
Don't go digging around if you don't want a bullet in the back of your head. I'm watching you.
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer, your question.
There's no point in pushing it further, he thinks. This is already a victory. We'll learn more about this 8th Hardy sooner or later.
This is very tempting. But I think I might be best off taking this small victory and heading out.
Yes?
I kind of wanted to talk about... It's fine, it's fine.
Was that? Could it be the Calder Mama Dakwa? No, it's probably just your imagination ringing in your ear.
I'll listen.
There seems to be an extremely high-pitched ring. ultrasonic.
Shouldn't be able to hear it then.
Very high pitched, right? It's like something tickles your ear. Lena also said that it couldn't be heard by any other animal,
Yeah.
including humans. What you're hearing must just be a regular bird.
I'll listen closely.
There it is again. You are about to rediscover a long-lost species. It must be very close. Maybe, just maybe, it will come toward you.
Wait, Kim, do you hear a high-pitched noise?
No, I don't hear the Coldomama d'Aqua, and neither do you.
Of course he doesn't. He's deaf.
The delivery in that was funny. Move toward, head towards sound.
The sound. It's moving away. Somewhere over there. Go after it. No. Too late. It's gone. There is no ringing anymore. Just the sound of the streets.
No, come back, please.
Keep your ears peeled, then. If the species really has migrated to Martinez, you're sure to hear it again.
Interesting. That's a long think. And I don't know if it's worth it. I'm still more inclined to doing that. Of course, I'm gonna need to get an unlock on the thing. I'm gonna call the station, see how
Steering levers.
Alice is doing on the.
Pull out to
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Have you heard back from the ICP about the serial number?
Yes. The armor was produced by Fairweather in their facilities in Betancourt, sur la clé in 42. It was part of a special order for Corps de Pharmacie, a security firm contracted to protect the interests of Oranese pharmaceutical companies in the Seminine conflict. So, it seems the armor went to Seminine. That's where the paper trail ends, though. Even the firm has proven difficult to track. Corps de Pharmacie has been renamed several times over in the years since the armor was issued.
Do we know what it's called now?
The most recently registered firm that the ICP has been able to connect to the CDP is a military contractor called Trinell, and the one before it was Downwell. I think they might be the same contractor.
A suit of armor like this would have been manufactured with a particular person's physique in mind. You should ask for whom this suit was fitted.
I hope I can ask both of these. First, has the firm continued to work for pharmaceutical companies through all these name changes?
Hard to say. Their client list is rather diverse and incomplete. The only constant seems to be that the mercenaries are always deployed in third and fourth world countries.
A suit of armor like this would have been customized to fit the wearer. There must be a record of the person to whom it was issued.
Yes, but the ICP tends to be reluctant to share private sector records. I could try to talk them into it, though.
Yeah?
This is a fun challenge for her. An opportunity to contribute beyond doing her job by rote. She'll gladly put in the extra effort for Team RCM.
Yes, thank you, officer. I really appreciate your efforts in this case.
Glad to help. Call back tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have more for you then. 57's over and out.
In the cabin, you see as
Okay, so far so good. In a day. I'm glad I got the preliminary inspection done the first day. Is Kuno gonna be here? Yeah. Maybe I can blame Kuno for the obvious bullet hole that I caused. It wasn't on purpose. Sorry for the running, Kim. But come on.
the pockets of these new jeans are perfect for sticking your
Oh?
hand into. Makes you look cool, calm, and collected. As your hand enters the pocket, your fingers brush against something soft yet crinkly. Hey, it's a chewing gum wrapper. It reminds you of the fruity juice of apricots. You should inspect it closer if you have time.
Huh.
Something about the wrapper's texture is familiar. By the way, the raw materials were most likely exported from Seaguy, the apricot suzerainty, and processed in Sur-le-Clay into the apricot-flavored chewing gum loved by kids of today and yesterday. Something about it is familiar, and not only to your fingers.
Interesting.
The luxury of fine things. Just look at those black monk straps. After spending an entire day hustling, who's to say that you didn't deserve a pair of ridiculously expensive shoes on your tired feet?
Beautiful things do make people happy.
Beautiful things give you a rush. It's power, crafting your style, draping your flesh in silken leather, deciding how to present yourself to the world. Remember, when they come to take it away from you, you worked for those shoes. Whether you like it or not, wearing these shoes has made you more liberal, ultra liberal. They're either a gateway drug or a booster pack to get you deeper into free market ideology.
Okay. Not entirely sure what that means, but okay. I mostly just wanted a good pair of shoes for jumping.
A tarpaulin cloak is still caught on the railing. No one has claimed it for
Fuck you. God damn it. I just want to do it. I just want to get my fucking stupid ass coat. I just want to save scum till I do it.
A tarpaulin cloak is still caught on the railing. No one has claimed it for their own.
Come on. What's that? That's 2 tries. I'll do 6 tries today too.
Cloak is still caught on the railing. No one has claimed it for their own.
Just let me win. Stupid video game.
A tarpaulin cloak is still caught on the railing. No
Come
one has
on.
claimed it for their own.
What was that for? Come on, come on, come on, come on.
A tarpaulin cloak is still caught.
Just let me win! God damn it! Is there like a fucking karmic dice system or something in this stupid video game? I don't even need the double sixes. It's not that bad.
A tarpaulin cloak is still caught on the railing.
Oh!
No one has claimed it for their own. As you leap in the air, a chilly breeze engulfs you, sharpening your senses.
Oh. Continue the voyage through the salty air?
As the concrete floor welcomes you, you realize it's been a while since you felt so alive, alert, capable. Must be the adrenaline.
I knew you could do it. My climbing down might not have been as disco as your jump, but at least we can explore the harbor now.
With your feet firmly planted on the concrete, the noise of the harbor rushes back in.
Hell yeah. Patrol coat. Esprit de corps. +1 shivers. That's a strict upgrade, isn't it? Police cloak. It would be night wind and waterproof if it weren't 3 bullet holes scattered on the surface. Signature white rectangle covers the garment's back. Nothing in the pockets here. Radio emitting strange buzzing sounds. Because I'm hoping I'll be able to open this. Oh, that's... Isn't that the communist maybe not. Use interact button to inspect the book. Standard office file cabinets. Drawers seem to be locked. Someone left the coffee machine on. Dark liquid in the pot looks almost sentient. Postcard. Le Jardin. The garden. Ooh. Neat office shades. I feel like just putting on the things I have and just wondering if I can get some thoughts about them. Have I worn everything else? I think so. Gonna finish exploring this.
On second glance, someone has forgotten to properly close one of the drawers.
Okay.
It's unfortunate for the Union to just leave their paperwork lying around like this.
Indeed.
Let's see what's inside, he thinks.
Open the drawer.
The drawer opens smoothly. Inside is a well-organized selection of brown folders.
I'm a browse.
Hundreds of documents containing logistical data. 2 kinds of transactions stand out. Materials coming into Revachol from the outside world, from Muindi, Grad, and even Ilmara, and the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol. Kuron, Coal City, La Delta, and Jamrock are listed among the many districts where the imports are being sold.
Anything interesting?
It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus, but the lines are getting blurry. The drawer slides.
Do I have something to improve volition? No. I don't think I'm gonna save scum
The
this.
file cabinet stands steady as ever. And look how blurry all the lines on these papers are. How unwieldy your own willpower is to yourself. Hermeneutics was almost within your grasp, but now only vague letters float before your eyes. Less meaningful, but aesthetically more pleasing.
Could I actually focus through not focusing?
You are a police officer, not a spiritual healer. You can focus the normal way by turning your attention to something and not letting go.
If I let my eyes go completely out of focus, all shapes start melting into each other.
Is that what you're doing with those folders over there?
Let's just get back to work.
I thought exactly, officer. Shall we?
Volition thought focusing.
Whatever's hidden here is
Double sixes.
concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with a background in logistics would be able to really make sense of it. However, there is a handwritten note stuck on the side of the drawer.
Why would I click this? Look at the
It
note.
appears to be a to-do list written in large, uneven capital letters. Remember, Leo, Everard's shoes, special whirling borscht, water
Borscht.
plants, sweep office floor, more banners. All items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself is crumpled.
Look, a to-do note with a list of errands for Everard.
Everard Clare, probably. The head of the department.
Yeah, I remember.
One of his aides must have left it. nothing incriminating here.
The special borscht seems a bit odd in the list. What is so special about this borscht? Code for drugs? Booze? Blood?
Can I take another look?
Remember, Leo, Everard's shoes. Special whirling borscht. Water Everard's plants. All items on the drawer slide.
I'm gonna close that for now. Dev Dewey typewriter, model name is on the back. Every worker equals member of the board, written on top of the flyers. I remember that, we'll learn about that. I imagine this will take us out to where that other dude was. Before that, I wanna interact with these things I picked up. Starting with the chewing gum wrapper.
Chewing gum wrapper. The worn label reads, Tutti Frutti. It smells faintly of apricots with a barely noticeable twinge of cinnamon. You feel compelled to point out that there's nothing fruity about cinnamon. It's a spice derived from tree bark.
That's correct. Cinnamon is not a fruit.
Can a used wrapper shrug? Seems like that's what the wrapper is doing somehow. This is not about flowers or bark. What is this about? Why are you looking at this wrapper?
Why do I even care about this?
Question. There is no answer or secret phrase written on the inside of the wrapper. Yet you're drawn to it. Drawn by regret. Stop before you hurt yourself with the Tutti Frutti wrapper. Throw it away, please.
I'll hang on to it just in case.
Carefully fold the wrapper into a square before putting it back into your pocket, lovingly even, despite the strange feeling of regret.
How odd. Nothing really out of that. No, that's not the communist thing. La Fumée. The leading intellectual organ of modern age might be the communism thing then. Offers a radical Masovian perspective on a range of contemporary issues. Cover features a stylized portrait of the late King Frizzle with a pair of white antlers growing out of his head. Because the white antlers were definitely a communism thing.
The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Frizzle. From the sides of his head, a pair of white antlers spread to the corners of the cover.
Why Frizzle? Probably because of his...
Because Frizzle was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, the embodiment of everything the communards wished to overthrow. It's satire, you see.
Yeah. Easy target. Flip through the pages, see what catches your eye.
Disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. Just column after column of closely set text, interrupted occasionally by little doodles in black and white. After rifling the pages with your thumb several times, you return to the table of contents. The magazine is divided into several sections. International development, Kunst und Kultur, and local concerns. Just inside the cover, there's also an editor's note.
I don't know about the pronunciation on Kunst und Kultur. Is how I would say it. I'm not German, but, you know. I'm gonna read the editor's note.
As you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression, Du cristal à la fumée. This was his way of describing the way the rigid, crystalline structures of capitalist ideology turned to smoke under communism.
Rigid, crystalline structures of capitalist ideology. I find that a little bit strange. Capitalism, the way I understand it, is not particularly rigid or crystalline, more muddy, unclear, at least compared to, well, communism.
But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going à la fumée, unlike many publications which are content to spoon-feed their readers reassuring drivel. La Fumée is committed to telling the radical truth, even when that truth may drive away potential subscribers.
Okay.
Only 4 issues in, and it sounds like they've already alienated their readership.
Quite possible.
So please, If you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs, please consider subscribing today. Yours in struggle, the editors.
Hey Kim, I think this is a communist magazine.
What do you expect? It was laying around the office of the Debarders Union. They're probably bankrolling the thing.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
I want to catch up on international
This
developments.
section includes a long, tedious critique of the latest round of free trade negotiations between the EPIS nations and the Free State of Semenine. You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling along the Messina border, something about bear wrestling in Samara, book riots in Yugograd. Face it, you really aren't interested in foreign affairs. You're not even sure where most of these countries are. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
What is Kunst und Kultur? Well, Kunst is art and Kultur is culture.
It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you that Kunst und Kultur must mean arts and culture. Why they decided to title this one section in Valda is beyond you.
Walder. So it's not called German in this world, it's called Walter. Wald. Wald. I'm not getting things mixed up. Give me a second. I'm just gonna check something real quick. Wald, there we go. It's the same Wald as in Waldhorn, French horn, which does that mean forest? Let me. Deutsche Wald. Yeah. Actually, I googled German forest because I thought Wald might mean forest. Turns out there is a concept called German forest, a phrase used both as a metaphor as well as to describe in exaggerated terms an idyllic landscape in German poems, fairy tales, and legends of the early 19th century Romantic period. Historical and cultural discourses. Which apparently is something that was popular with the bad guys in World War II. I wonder if that's an intentional thing. Anyways.
It evokes a sense of recognition and fellowship among those privileged enough to understand. As you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews of recent radio plays, as well as a brief artist spotlight featuring a local artist identified only as CS.
Ooh, Cinder the Skull?
The main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tournée, a critical Mazovian perspective. The Tip Top Tournée is an inter-Isolari racing series, mostly known for its high speeds, ludicrous sponsorship deals, and high death toll. In Revachol, it's held quadrennially on the prestigious Zero Carousel racing circuit.
I'm gonna read the CS
The
profile.
so-called artist spotlight is really just a brief Q&A, made all the briefer by the subject's evident hostility to her interviewer.
Indeed. I think it's Cindy. Alright, let's see what these communists have to say about Tip Top.
You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap of the most recent season, maybe sprinkled with some nice anecdotes about a few of the more colourful drivers. Instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000-word feature about all the politically problematic aspects of Tip Top Tourney.
And what is wrong with Tip Top?
Where to even start? For one, there's the crass commercialism of its sponsorships.
Fair.
Then there's the practically criminal emphasis on deadly motor crashes. So, all of it, basically.
Who wrote this stuff?
Oddly enough, this article has 2 bylines. Nastep Encolada Bernal and Exilus Buka. There's no way those are real names.
Why aren't they real names?
Have you ever met anyone named Exilus? Come on, they're plainly pseudonyms.
Probably.
More than that, they're likely
Oh.
anagrams.
I mean, I know what's bad with sponsorships, but I kind of have to ask it, I suppose.
Under capitalism, the article says, every pursuit has its price. Every pleasure, even one as elemental as the joy of racing others around a track, is reduced to an advertising opportunity.
Is racing an elemental pleasure? I kind of feel like like racing is not something that is essential. So for racing to be like a thing, it's either gonna be commercialized, it's gonna be some sort of, you know, like a Roman hippodrome, whatever, the opium of the people sort of thing, or it's just not gonna be a big deal. It's just gonna be something like you can drive under capitalism. You and your buddies can buy cars and race around a track that you own without any sponsorships or marketing deals or fucking advertisements, commercialism. No one's gonna see it probably. And if you want it to be seen, someone's gonna want to get paid. And if you can't pay, you might get paid to run ads. But that's really only for like the big, if you want to be seen, I suppose. I don't know.
Thus, the so-called tourney becomes a competition between increasingly meaningless brand signifiers. Your discount laundry detergent racing against a pack of Astra cigarettes, or even a fritter.
Indeed. Which, you know, you can relate to reels. I don't watch sports. I don't understand the appeal of watching sports. Someone once told me that watching sports is a lot like watching pornography. It is more fun to do it yourself than to just watch. Is what that person told me. I wouldn't know. Because I don't play sports, if you get what I mean. I don't really have an interest in sports. I did notice last time I visited the United States, which was, to be fair, a pretty long time ago, many years ago, that they run a lot more ads on their sports. And while people might not believe that Scandinavia is capitalist, let's be real, the whole as Western society is capitalist to some degree. But there's more commercialism, consumerism, whatever you want to call it, in the United States. For some reason, I guess. And they had a lot more ads. And I don't understand why Americans are just like okay with that. I don't understand why Swedes are okay with the amount of ads in sports here. Again, I don't watch sports. I don't really have an interest. I watch YouTube videos and like movies and TV shows sometimes. I don't quite understand the enjoyment of watching someone else play a sport. Anyways, let's continue with this. You get to see them crash. I don't like that. This is a Harry thought. This is not me.
And that precisely is what's problematic about it. Were it not for the promise of random, spectacular violence, audiences would quickly lose interest.
Would they?
At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real races that you're really watching for.
I wouldn't. I have seen like clips of car crashes here and there, and it looks pretty fucking horrifying. I'm pretty sure I like it for the racing.
Sure, you think that, but subconsciously, it's the visions of brand names being engulfed in flames that you crave.
I've never thought about that much, and
Because you haven't been reading critically. But don't worry. The whole point of these sorts of articles is to let someone else read critically for you.
that's funny. Kim, this article says that no one really watches Tip Top Tourney for the races.
Oh, come on. Can this article read your mind?
It seems to think so.
A certain kind of young man reads one or two books and suddenly thinks he understands the secret structures of reality.
Dude based.
If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside of a motor, much less a motor race. I'd take whatever they write with a large grain of salt.
Yeah.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
What about the local concerns?
Surprisingly, much of this section is taken up with articles declaring unqualified support for the dock workers' strike. You skim the headlines. Paint the harbor red and white. Martinez tames the wild pines. A city in revolt. First we take Martinez, then we take La Delta. Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Capeside Apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent.
Okay, let's review. Paint the harbor in the morning. Charging rent just lives somewhere. Thing about that is that living takes resources. And we're not in Star Trek. We're not at a point where things can just work out without anyone needing to put in any effort. Someone's got to build the house, right? And you're gonna need tools. Someone's got to make the tools. Someone's got to get the tools to the workers. Someone's got to there's a lot of people involved, a lot of labor involved, both of the physical kind and of, actually figuring out how shit is supposed to work. And at the end of the day, if these houses are supposed to be made at all, and then, kept warm and be and have running water in them, which is a continuous effort, people gotta be compensated for their labor. And as it stands in capitalism, you are paid an agreed upon amount for your services when you put in that labor. And, we can debate all day how much certain types of labor should be valued and such, but the point is that there's an element of scarcity to housing. So to just let people live somewhere, to have a guarantee, you can't really have a right to something that is subject to scarcity. That's the problem. You can have a right to, self-expression, freedom of speech, all of that. That's a right that is possible to implement. But when it comes to things that are subject to scarcity, even something like clean water is kind of on its face impossible to treat as a right. Because, again, you gotta get that water from somewhere, and then you gotta get it to the people, which not anyone knows how to fucking dig a well or find where to dig one, or it's a complicated matter that is unfortunate. But I can't really agree with this point. That's too extreme. I could think that. I think it does have something to do with me. I'm still thinking about how I'm gonna pay for my room today, for instance. Wouldn't it be better for everyone if labor and capital could reach some reasonable accommodation? Accusing the owner of Cape Side Apartments of legally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent. I mean, is it illegal to evict someone who can't pay their rent, or who won't pay their rent? This is probably the most reasonable option here, I think. Wouldn't it be better for everyone if labor and capital could reach some reasonable accommodation?
According to these editorials, there can be no accommodation with the forces of international capital or their mucilaginous allies in the coalition.
What's this about a coalition? I know about the coalition.
Judging from the context, it's something very large and fundamental. You should probably know about it already, honestly.
I do.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
I'm gonna put the magazine away. Oh, we got into some pretty serious... Oh.
What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate, political opinions somewhere in Martinez.
That's me, Mr. Reasonable. Someone's gotta keep it sane around here.
The air suddenly feels calmer, more transparent in a strangely tender way. Perhaps it's the hangover. Perhaps it's a temporary surge of serotonin. But something tells you it's time to become a citizen of the Kingdom of Conscience.
Interesting. Where is this Kingdom of Conscience?
It is not a place. It is a moment in time that can only arise in the right circumstances. In all of human history, it's only been achieved a handful of times.
How do you bring about these circumstances?
Incrementally. Yawn. You'd get there faster with a little speed. History's greatest catastrophes have been brought about by people trying to make the world a better place. Too quickly.
Interesting. I don't know about the history of this world. I don't know if to some degree, I think there's truth in this, in the real world.
That's the genius of Dolores Day. She recognized that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Real, lasting change can only come about gradually, increment by increment.
I'd probably have to agree with that. I mean, looking at the world as it is, we have this constant sort of back and forth, this constant like eye for an eye whenever something big, changes. There's going to be people who are not happy about that change, who are going to kick back. And they may cause their own changes if they kick back hard enough, which, flips it so that the other side of the issue are now. Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth to this. But let's also try and challenge it a bit. What about all the things that are wrong now?
Tisk tisk. Just because you live in the present doesn't mean you have the right to place your needs above the needs of the future. You may never live to see the Kingdom of Conscience. Your children may not. Even your grandchildren might not. But that's no excuse not to keep working. What rationality?
That's interesting. It makes me think of there's a song by Tech9. It's on what was that album called? Ah, shit. I'm drawing a blank. Give me a second. Let me. I hope I don't accidentally start playing any music right now, because probably copyright and shit. Something else. There's the song "Believe," I think it is, that I'm thinking of. Just the idea that we might not change the world today, but if we believe in something and we stand for it, then if we all, if we get a little sappy, we all take each other's hands and we try to understand each other, we might make a better world. I don't know. What rationality?
What a fucking joke.
What's the kingdom of conscience actually like?
The kingdom is difficult to comprehend, and even more difficult to describe, partly because humanity will need to discard many of the categories that define and limit it today. The kingdom of conscience is post-capitalist, post-national. It's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even post-sexual.
Okay, let's think. Let's give this a good hard think. Because I was kind of on board until this last. What the fuck? Post-capitalist, post-national, post-industrial, post-ideological. Kind of like the sound of that. Post-sexual. Don't even know what the fuck they mean by that. Or I suppose the not fuck. If it's post-sexual, is that what that means? I don't know. Fucking. I do kind of want to live in. Oh, fuck. I was almost ready. Because, progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. That's not wrong. I can't say that that is wrong. Is it only incrementally that we can achieve Do we go for this? It does say allons-y. And I like saying allons-y. This feels like a pretty significant choice. Allons-y. Let's go there.
Slow down, Mr. Reasonable. Did you miss the part about compromising and taking things slow?
Oh, okay, right. Then let's get there eventually.
That's right. Remember, real democracy is just around the corner for Rivershaw. When that real democracy kicks in, a long time from now, we are all going to be so...
Oh, now it feels like they're mocking me for thinking like this. -2 half-light. Which is what, again? Threaten people? I don't like that. Heartache is powerful, but democracy is subtle. Incrementally, you begin to notice a change in the weather. When it snows, the flakes are softer when they stick to your worry-worn forehead. When it rains, the rain is warmer. Democracy is coming to the administrative region. The ideals of DeLorean humanism are reinstating themselves. How can they not? These are the ideals of the Coalition and the Moralist International. Those guys are signal blue. They're not only good, they're also powerful. Did I make a mistake here? Will it be like once their nuanced plans... One thing at a time. We have a fucking crime to solve. But I do not really want to go too extreme, depending on the bottom of the union law, demand democracy. I should. Can I? National Hobocop. Because really my personal political philosophy is pretty much we should just I just wish people could fucking chill out and be cool to one another. And I don't know where that places me. I think personal freedoms are important. I think we shouldn't be at each other's throats telling each other what to do all the time. I think some sort of I don't think any ideology I've ever encountered fully works unless people are inherently good, which I wish I could say they were. But as it stands, every sort of ideology seems to be exploited by those who desire power over others. And they usually find a way to exploit every goddamn system. So essentially, I think the system we choose should be one where, because when every attempt to sort of stop the exploitation just results in other means of exploitation, I just don't want the people who are good to suffer for what exploitative, frankly evil people are doing. If we implement laws and if we implement punishments that's end up hurting, or restrictions, laws that don't hurt the people at the top who can get around it, but it does hurt the honest people who are just trying to get by, then there's a problem. So I'm very wary of heavily controlling systems. I think that's something to keep an eye out for. It's really complicated. I'm hardly the most politically minded person. I just wish everyone could be cool. Yeah, that's about it. A lot of fucking political philosophy in this one. I'm gonna round it off here because we've gone way over time again. I will see you later.